guys, it's Ellie to Julio. Time for this month's Coffee and Questions, where Team Patron gets to ask me questions and I answer and you all benefit. It's March, thank God. Even in Canada, it's just a little better. I never thought I'd be excited about seeing a single-digit negative number in the forecast, but it does mean I don't have to wear 2 pairs of pants to work. So let's go ahead and get started on this month's questions. There's a lot of them that I'm really excited to answer because of reasons. You'll see. February is always really hard for me. I even had to cancel a lot of my birthday plans because the weather was so bad. And it's the worst winter in Hamilton in 47 years, according to the newspaper. It's just been so cold. And the snow's been bad, and so it's hard to find a bright spot in February, but, you know, it's kind of nice to just have that hibernation period where, you know, obviously I went to work and did all my normal social stuff, which is actually a big deal for me. This is the first winter in a long time that I haven't properly hibernated. But I also finished the final pass edits for Mirror of Ashes, which was a huge deal, and took way longer than I wanted it to, but now it's done and it's off to beta readers, so I'm super happy about that. That was awesome. Attending a con as an author is a weird experience. I've been to a couple of different kinds of cons as an attendee, and you just kind of get to wander around and see the cool things and hang out with your friends, and you're pretty mobile. And attending a con as an author is a completely different thing. Last year, the cons that I went to, I wasn't on the guest list, so I just attended as like a vendor. Which means that you're basically shackled to your table the whole time and you don't get to see anything cool in the con unless you've got a bunch of people running with you. So, there's that experience, but there's also the experience where you're attending as a guest, where you get to do panels, or readings or stuff like that, which I will actually get to do this year at Ad Astra in Toronto in April, so you should come and see me. I'm going to be on panels and do all that cool stuff, so I'll have a real grown-up author experience. Basically, my tips and advice are don't go alone. The buddy system is important. If you can at least get one other author to share the table with you, then people will stop for longer. You have somebody to talk to. You have somebody to take over if you have to pee. Especially somewhere like Fan Expo where they're seeing thousands of people every day. You really don't have the ability to walk away from your table. Bring your food. As far as like ordering books and stuff like that, only you really know what kind of audience that you've got. I think I moved 100 books at across 3 different cons, but I'm relatively small and I'm writing a series, and people aren't really anxious to jump into that. So it depends on what your back catalog is like. Sign up for Square. Make sure you have change. Make sure you have table stuff, like stuff to look cool on your table. Like, we tried to do cookies and candy and stuff, and, you know, nerds like food, but not that much. And, but have signage. I got that big banner printed, and that really went a long way. Like a vinyl banner at 4 feet long, I think it cost me $25 through Vistaprint. So get stuff like that. Get stuff with your name on it. Have somebody hand out your business cards. Megan Fair is my street team. She's one of my, super fans, and she goes out with us and at cons and stuff and hands out our postcards and anything like that, just to get people to come to the booth. So, you need a team. Experiences, though, largely great. I love sitting and talking to people. It's one of my favorite things, is people coming up to the booth and not asking me about the story, because that's always uncomfortable. It's like a constant elevator pitch. But talking to people about their own writing. I had a surprising percentage of people come up and want to talk to me about the book that they have been writing for 15 years and are just afraid that it's not good enough. And having a chance to really encourage people to do what they want to do and to tell their story and to just get it out there, so much fun. And, a few people I've stayed in touch with afterwards. I know a couple of the members of Team Patron right now are people that I met at cons. And you really get to know people that way. And I just really believe in that kind of connection between authors and readers. And so just I encourage any author to get out there and at least do it once, just to see how it works for you. And if it doesn't work, that's fine, but I think you'll really find that it's a rewarding and valuable experience. So, I got this question in my box, and I was like, I can't tell you that because the timeline hasn't caught up. Also, huge spoilers, like, seriously? So I can't tell you, unfortunately, because Cora Riley started in the summer, and Mirror of Ashes is in December at Christmas time, and then Apple of Chaos will start right after that, so it's going to be end of December, beginning of January, and then the next book after that is a year later, so I couldn't even tell you until after the 4th book comes out, and that'll be next year. So, tough nuggets. But use your imagination. If you'd like to suggest something, maybe we could talk about that in short story format. There are so many fandoms represented in the Forgotten Relics universe, in the Coraverse. It started with Ink Changer before there was even a Forgotten Relics, because I'm a nerd, like, and there's so many stories and TV shows and movies and books that are part of my subconscious and that really inform the way that I write and the style and the characters and things like that. So they inevitably make their way in there. If I had to number them, I don't know that I can. Like, I could sit down and write them all out. I actually threatened to do a nerd reference treasure hunt when Cora Riley came out, because it was so riddled with nerd references. I mean, even in Ink Changer, and not so much in Sword of Souls. Like, it's gotten a little more serious over the last couple of books, I guess, which is good or bad depending on your point of view. But there's a good 10 or 12 different fandoms, and they kind of grow as I experience new things. Like, Supernatural is starting to become a influence just because I started watching it this last year. But, you'll see Firefly, and you'll see Battlestar Galactica, and things like that. I'm not going to give away too much, because I actually mentioned the reference treasure hunt, to one of the members of Team Patron, and they were like, yeah, do it! So there may be a giveaway, some sort of contest based on that at some point. But it's a lot. I'm not going to lie. It's a lot. And a lot of them are blatant, the references to the fandoms, to the point where I'm a little concerned about having, Warner Brothers or whatever knock on my door with a cease and desist. So, like, I actually am going to have to cut a line out of Mirror of Ashes because it was too obvious. Like, it was lifted directly from Labyrinth. So I'll leave you to figure out what that means. And if I had to make a pie chart, let's call it cherry. So Cora Riley's 1-year anniversary is March 4th this year. And honestly, it's one of those things where I had, I knew that I published it at some point, but I'd forgotten, because this time last year I was traveling. I wasn't home. I was staying with my mom for a month, like almost the whole month of March. So I was finishing up Sword of Souls at the time that Cora Riley was released, and there was a huge book tour, and it was a monster flop, honestly. And that was really discouraging, even though the book has become pretty popular, and it's I look back on it with fondness. It was a really great experience writing Cora Riley, but Sword of Souls kind of eclipsed it. And so when I realized that the 1-year anniversary was coming up, I was kind of like mixed feelings about it. Like, I feel like I kind of abandoned my baby, and, I want more people to see it and get involved, and, so that we can connect. I think that the lesson that I took away from Cora Riley, now 2 books later, where I've tried to change things up as far as writing and productivity and all that, is that the way that I wrote Cora Riley, which was very slow, considering that I wrote the entire draft of Mirror of Ashes, 75,000 words, in just 1 month last year. It took me 2 months to write Cora Riley, which seems really quick, but it was, quote-unquote, only 3,000 words a day. Much more deliberate. And you know, if I could give advice to myself about that, I think I need to go back to that, where the book just feels so much more homey and so much more put together. And if I had advice from now to tell myself a year ago, definitely to not worry so much about measuring up. Like, get so wrapped up in what other authors are doing and how fast they're doing it and what they're writing about that you forget sometimes. And, you know, this last year between Cora Riley and now this third book has just been crazy. Again, like, probably, I think I mentioned this last time, it's like one of the worst years of my life. And having started Cora Riley before that began, it's like kind of looking back nostalgically at a better time. It's like, how do you hold on to that? And so that would be my advice, would be to just hold on to that sense of beautiful storytelling and just really enjoying the process instead of trying to make it effective and productive and marketable and worrying about the business side of it so much, because that's what happened. Cora Riley was, you know, she's my baby, and I'm trying to do the best I can by her now, and to go back to the way that I felt before is really the best way for me to do that. I don't know if I would ever write another series. This was a really bad idea, guys. I went from writing a novel to having an idea for not a novel. So technically Ink Changer is a novella because it's only 42,000 words. I still think of it as a novel because I think the word novella is like, oh, look at you, you wrote a novel. How good, that's so sweet, how cute. I fucking hate that. So I went from that to writing another book that I thought was going to be standalone, and then I got all these ideas and it became a series. And it's so many books, and it's so much to have to juggle. It's a completely different track that you have to think on because you're juggling all this different stuff. And I don't know that I would write, definitely not another multi-crazy thing. Maybe a 3-book series, but I have been looking at, you know, because that's just a little more compact and a little less epic. I don't know if I'm cut out for epic anymore. Standalones, yes. Maybe trilogy if I got really excited. And I don't know if serials count. So, like, when you write, you know, little installments in, like, 5 or 6 parts that make up a whole novel. So I don't know if that counts. I am interested in doing that. So there will be other work that ties together the way that a series does, but I don't know if they're going to be full-length novels. So we'll see what happens. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's totally going to be additional Forgotten Relics short stories even after the series is over, because that world is still alive to me, you know, and there is a long-range plan for after the series is over, but I can't tell anybody about it until the series is over, and according to the new publication schedule that I've put together, that won't be until like 2017. So you still have a long ways before the series is over, but there will be additional Forgotten Relics materials after that. I'm almost positive. So don't worry, they're not going to go away. They won't evaporate just because the series is over. In March, I am definitely looking forward to better weather. Holy cow. I am not a snow bunny or, you know, an ice queen or whatever. Well, maybe an ice queen. Definitely looking forward to better weather. I'm always more productive in better weather. Weather. Why can't I say weather? Just my mood is better, and I get to do more stuff. And, you know, even when it's 0 degrees here in Canada, things are better moving because the sun is usually out. And I'm solar powered, so I'm expecting to use March as downtime, where Mirror of Ashes is off to beta readers, and I'm going to be planning for an April 1st, not a joke, Kickstarter to fund Des to do the cover for Mirror of Ashes. I still don't know what that's going to look like yet. We're considering some other options besides Kickstarter. Just trying to get caught up on a bunch of tasks. Like I'm revising the Patreon. I'm gonna do this, figure out the crowdfunding. I need to start drawing up some new ideas. I want to try to get ahead on the short stories. You know, it's never a break. There's no March break, but I am really looking forward to doing some of this stuff that I am now free to do because I was so single-minded on getting the Mirror of Ashes edit done because it was broken. It was really broken, content-wise. So I'm glad that's done, and I'm really looking forward to having that final polish in April. But just having this time in March where I get to take care of some of the loose ends that have been hanging around. I'm sure that makes me some kind of organizational nerd, but I'm fine with that. And getting to go outside. Oh my god, I might be able to open a window by the end of the month. Oh, that'd be beautiful. Alright guys, so yes, that is our last question for this month's video. Thank you so much to everybody who asked a question, and thank you to everybody who has made this last year of Cora Riley's life amazing and beautiful and magical, and thank you so much for supporting her and for supporting me. And I just encourage you that if you are viewing this and you are not a member of Team Patron, to come and join us. It's a flat $5 a month. You get every book I write, every story I write, access to this Q&A list, my activities stream where you get little goodies every once in a while. I'm about to send them the first cover sketch for Mirror of Ashes. They don't know it yet. And just a bunch of good stuff for $5 a month. And there are other opportunities to be more generous if you'd like to give a little more. Thank you so much for watching and for spreading the word and for all of your love and support, guys. And I will see you right back here next month. Have a great March. Bye.